As we get older, certain things change gradually, sometimes so quietly we hardly notice them at first. We might not walk as quickly as we used to. Climbing stairs feels just a little harder. Or maybe we realize that a jar we once opened without thinking now takes just a bit more effort. For many people over 60, that subtle shift is the beginning of something called muscle loss, or what doctors call sarcopenia. It's not sudden, and it's not always dramatic, but over time, it matters. Most people don't realize that we can lose as much as 1% of our muscle mass every year after age 60. That might sound small, but it adds up. Over a decade, it can mean a significant reduction in strength, balance, and independence. And so, a question comes up more often than you'd think, especially among people trying to stay strong, stay active, and live fully as they age. Can something as simple as drinking milk really help us maintain our muscle? We've all seen the ads over the years. Smiling athletes with milk mustaches. Catchy slogans about strong bones. But behind the marketing, is there actually any truth to the idea that milk could help older adults hold on to their strength? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. This isn't just about whether milk is healthy or not, it's about what role, if any, it plays in the fight against muscle loss after 60. The answer is more interesting than you might expect, and definitely more nuanced than a simple yes or no. If you care about staying mobile and independent as you age, or you're looking out for a loved one, you're in the right place. And if you appreciate clear, science-based guidance explained in simple terms, I invite you to click like and subscribe. It's a small gesture, but it helps us keep bringing you helpful content focused on your health and longevity. So, let's take a closer look at what happens to our muscles as we age, what makes milk special, and whether that glass of milk in the morning is doing more than just quenching thirst. To understand whether milk can help preserve muscle, we first need to understand what's really happening to our muscles as we get older. Muscle loss after 60 doesn't happen overnight, and it's not because someone simply stops using their muscles. The process is far more complex and involves changes deep inside the body. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at building and repairing muscle. Even when we eat enough protein, the body doesn't always respond to it the same way it did in our younger years. This is called anabolic resistance. It means that our muscles don't respond to protein as effectively as they used to. You might be eating the same meals, getting the same amount of protein, but your body isn't turning it into muscle quite as well anymore. Another important factor is physical activity. Many older adults naturally become less active over time. That's understandable. Life slows down, energy levels change, and sometimes injuries or joint pain make movement more difficult. But when movement decreases, the signals that tell muscles to grow or stay strong also start to fade. Without these signals, muscles slowly begin to shrink and weaken. There are also hormonal changes that play a big role. After age 60, levels of certain hormones that help maintain muscle, like testosterone, growth hormone, and estrogen, start to drop. These hormones are like internal messengers, telling the body to keep building and repairing tissue. As their levels fall, the body shifts more toward breaking down muscle than building it up. Inflammation is another piece of the puzzle. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is more common in older adults. It doesn't always cause pain, but it quietly interferes with the body's ability to stay strong and rebuild. This kind of inflammation can come from various sources: poor sleep, unbalanced diets, stress, or underlying conditions like type 2 diabetes or heart disease. So, when you put it all together, you can see how muscle loss in older adults isn't caused by just one thing. It's a combination of reduced activity, hormonal shifts, inflammation, and the body becoming less responsive to the nutrients it needs. That's why preserving muscle after 60 requires a more thoughtful approach. It's not just about eating more. It's about eating smarter, moving more often, and understanding how the aging body works. Now, this might sound discouraging at first, but here's the good news: while we can't stop the clock, we can slow the effects. The body still has the ability to build muscle, even in our 70s, 80s, and beyond. What changes is how we support it. That's where the right kind of protein becomes very important, and that's where milk enters the conversation. Milk isn't just a drink, it's a whole food. It contains high-quality protein, essential amino acids, calcium, and other nutrients that support overall health. But the question we need to ask is whether these nutrients actually help older muscles stay strong, and whether they do it better than other foods. That's where we're heading next. Let's take a closer look at what makes milk unique and why its protein content has drawn the attention of scientists studying aging muscles. Milk has been part of the human diet for thousands of years, but only recently have scientists begun to understand what makes it potentially helpful for aging muscles. The answer lies in the type of protein milk contains and how it affects the muscle building process. Milk is made up of two main types of protein, casein and whey. Both are considered complete proteins, which means they contain all 9 essential amino acids our bodies need to build and repair tissue. But whey protein, in particular, is of special interest when it comes to preserving muscle in older adults. What makes whey so unique is how quickly it's digested and how rich it is in one key amino acid, leucine. Leucine is often described as the trigger for muscle protein synthesis. It tells the body, in simple terms, it's time to build. When leucine levels rise in the blood, it activates a specific pathway in the muscle called mTOR. That's the signal that kickstarts the process of creating new muscle tissue. Now, here's why this matters more after 60. Because of anabolic resistance, older muscles don't respond to protein as strongly as younger ones do. But research has shown that higher leucine proteins, like whey, can help overcome this resistance, at least to some degree. That means the right kind of protein can make a difference, even when the body is less responsive overall. Several studies have supported this idea. For example, a well-known trial in older adults found that those who consumed whey protein after resistance exercise experienced more muscle growth than those who didn't. Another study showed that even without exercise, consuming higher leucine protein sources helped reduce muscle loss in sedentary seniors. Milk also offers a natural balance of nutrients that support overall health, not just protein. It provides calcium for bone strength, vitamin D for immune and muscle function, potassium for heart health, and a mix of bioactive compounds that may help reduce inflammation. In other words, milk isn't just about building muscle, it can also help maintain the systems that support that muscle, from bones to blood pressure. Still, it's important to look at milk realistically. Just because it contains beneficial nutrients doesn't mean it's a miracle food. Drinking a glass of milk won't suddenly rebuild lost muscle. But it can be a helpful part of a larger plan, a piece of the puzzle, especially when combined with physical activity and a balanced diet. What's also interesting is how milk compares to other protein-rich foods. For instance, fish, lean poultry, eggs, beans, and tofu all offer muscle-supporting nutrients in different amounts and combinations. But many of them don't have as much leucine per serving as whey does. That's why whey-based dairy products, like milk or Greek yogurt, have been highlighted in muscle health research. Of course, not everyone tolerates milk the same way. Lactose intolerance is more common with age, and some people may experience bloating or digestive discomfort. But there are workarounds, like lactose-free milk or fermented options such as kefir, which still offer the protein benefits without causing trouble for the stomach. So, is milk special when it comes to muscle health after 60? In a way, yes. It's fast digesting, high in leucine, easy to find, and cost-effective. For many older adults, especially those who have smaller appetites or difficulty preparing large meals, milk can be a convenient way to get high-quality protein. What matters isn't just what milk contains, but how you use it. The timing and the way you include milk in your daily diet can determine whether it truly helps preserve your muscle. One common misunderstanding is the idea that simply drinking milk, anytime, in any amount, will automatically help prevent muscle loss. But the truth is, without the right context, even the best nutrients won't do much. Protein, including the kind found in milk, works best when paired with physical activity, especially resistance-based movement like lifting light weights, walking uphill, or using resistance bands. When you move your muscles in a way that challenges them, even gently, you create small signals in the muscle fibers, signals that say, "I need to get stronger." If you then provide your body with the right building blocks, like protein and leucine, those signals have something to work with. That's why many studies show that combining protein intake with movement gives better results than protein alone. For example, one study from the Journal of Applied Physiology looked at older adults who did light resistance training and followed it with a drink containing whey protein. Those who had the protein after exercise showed significantly better muscle gains than those who didn't consume protein. Timing played a key role. When you eat protein soon after physical activity, ideally within about 30 to 60 minutes, your muscles are more receptive. This window is when the muscle building process is most active and your body is ready to use nutrients efficiently. So, if you're drinking milk for its protein, consider having it after you've done something active. That could be a 30-minute walk, a gardening session, climbing stairs, or light strength training with bands or small weights. You don't need to do intense workouts to see benefits. Even moderate, consistent movement, combined with good nutrition, can help preserve muscle. Now, what if you're not able to exercise much? Maybe you're recovering from surgery, managing arthritis, or simply have limited mobility. In that case, protein still plays an important role, but it needs to be spread wisely throughout the day. That's another key mistake many people make, getting most of their protein in one big meal. Research has shown that the body responds better to protein when it's distributed across meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, rather than loading it all into one sitting. Milk can help fill in the gaps, especially at breakfast or between meals when protein intake is often low. A glass of milk with your oatmeal, or a small glass alongside a slice of toast and nut butter, can raise your protein intake in the morning, which many older adults tend to miss. You don't have to rely solely on milk, but it's a convenient way to add complete protein to a meal without much effort. Portion size also matters. Most people think one small glass of milk is enough. But depending on your body size and activity level, you may need more than that. For older adults, experts generally recommend about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. For a person weighing around 150 pounds, 68 kilograms, that's roughly 82 to 109 grams of protein daily. A single cup of milk only gives you about 8 grams. So while it's helpful, milk alone is not enough to meet your daily needs. That's why it's more accurate to think of milk as one part of a larger, balanced plan. It works well as a protein boost, especially around activity or when your appetite is lower. But it needs to be combined with other sources of protein, regular movement, and a routine that suits your lifestyle and health needs. And one more note, don't forget hydration. Older adults often drink less water than they should, which can lead to fatigue, cramps, and slower muscle recovery. Milk, being a fluid, can contribute to your daily hydration as well. That's a small but helpful bonus, especially if plain water is hard to remember. The bottom line is this: drinking milk is not a magic fix for muscle loss. But when used at the right time, in the right way, it can support muscle health, especially when paired with consistent movement and balanced meals. Coming up next, we'll look at who benefits most from including milk in their diet, and who might need to be cautious. Some people benefit more from drinking milk than others. And for those over 60, this becomes especially true. As we age, our bodies become less responsive to the muscle-building effects of protein. This is known as anabolic resistance. It means that the same amount of protein that helped maintain muscle when you were May 30th not be enough once you're over 60. That's why researchers have started looking more closely at how older adults can overcome this resistance. One key strategy is choosing protein sources that are rich in certain amino acids, especially leucine. Milk, particularly in the form of whey protein, is naturally high in leucine. And that's one reason it shows promise for older adults who want to maintain muscle strength and size. Now, if you're someone who exercises regularly, even just light resistance training or daily walks, the benefits of combining milk or dairy protein with those habits become more obvious. A randomized trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who drank milk after resistance training gained more lean muscle over 12 weeks than those who did not. The milk didn't do all the work, the exercise was the stimulus, but the milk acted like fuel poured onto a spark, helping the muscle grow and recover more efficiently. That said, there's another side to this. Not everyone tolerates milk well. Some older adults become more sensitive to lactose as they age, experiencing bloating, gas, or discomfort after drinking regular milk. This doesn't mean you have to give up on milk entirely. Lactose-free milk, yogurt, or whey protein isolate are good alternatives. They provide the same beneficial nutrients without the digestive issues. And for those who choose to avoid dairy for personal reasons, there are also non-dairy options, though they may not be as complete in terms of amino acid content. It's also worth noting that not all milk is created equal. Some milk sold in stores is fortified with additional vitamin D and calcium, which can support bone health, another critical issue as we age. Others may be low in fat or high in added sugar if you're drinking flavored varieties. So when choosing milk as part of a muscle-preserving strategy, plain, unsweetened, fortified milk is generally the better option. Whole milk can be useful too, especially for those who need more calories or are underweight, but for others, a lower-fat version may be more suitable. There's no single formula that fits everyone. What matters is finding a routine that supports your overall health and lifestyle. For example, some people prefer having a glass of milk with breakfast, while others use it in a protein shake after walking or gardening. The key is consistency, making it part of your daily rhythm rather than something you only do once in a while. You might also wonder whether plant-based alternatives like almond milk or oat milk offer the same benefits. While they can be nutritious, most are lower in protein, and the kind of protein they offer isn't as effective for muscle maintenance as what's found in dairy. Some newer products are fortified with pea protein or rice protein to help with this, but they still often lack the leucine content found in whey or casein. At the end of the day, milk is not a miracle food. But for many older adults, it can be a convenient, affordable, and effective way to help meet daily protein needs, especially when paired with movement. Whether you enjoy it in your coffee, in a smoothie, or by the glass, milk can be one of many simple tools to help your muscles stay strong as the years go by. Now let's take a moment to talk about how milk fits into the bigger picture of your diet. Because while protein is important, it's only one part of a balanced plan for healthy aging. Muscle health doesn't exist in isolation. It's connected to your overall diet, your daily habits, your movement, and even your mindset. And while milk can be a valuable source of protein, it's most effective when it fits into a bigger picture, one that supports your entire body, not just your muscles. Let's talk about that bigger picture for a moment. As we age, the way our bodies process nutrients changes. Appetite may decrease. Digestion slows. Some people begin skipping meals or eating less protein overall, often without realizing it. This is why even a small glass of milk can make a difference. It's easy to consume. It's familiar. And it's a simple way to sneak in more protein, calcium, and other key nutrients that tend to decline with age. But here's the thing, protein alone isn't enough. Muscles also need energy to repair and grow. If your overall calorie intake is too low, something that's surprisingly common among adults over 60, then even the best protein won't do its job well. This is where the balance between macronutrients matters: protein, carbohydrates, and fats working together. Let's say you have a glass of milk in the morning with a slice of whole grain toast and some peanut butter. That small meal gives you protein, healthy fats, fiber, and complex carbs. It's not just about the milk, it's how the milk interacts with everything else on the plate that supports your muscle health, energy levels, and even your digestion throughout the day. There's also the question of inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation tends to increase as we age, and it's been linked to faster muscle loss. While some people worry that dairy might be inflammatory, the evidence in older adults is actually mixed. In many cases, low-fat dairy products like milk and yogurt are neutral or even slightly anti-inflammatory, especially when part of a balanced diet that includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and omega-3 fats. Milk also carries a few other nutrients that often don't get enough attention. Vitamin B12, for example, is essential for nerve function and red blood cell production, and it becomes harder to absorb from food as we age. Many older adults unknowingly become deficient. Milk is a natural source of B12, which adds another reason it can be a helpful daily habit. Calcium and vitamin D are often discussed in relation to bone health, and rightly so, but strong bones and strong muscles go hand in hand. If your bones are weak, you're less likely to stay active. If your muscles are weak, your risk of falls increases. Milk helps with both. So even though we've been focusing on muscle, it's helpful to remember that muscle health is part of a broader picture of aging well. Of course, nothing in nutrition exists in a vacuum. One glass of milk won't make or break your health. But over time, small consistent habits, like adding protein to each meal, drinking milk regularly, and staying physically active, build up. They support not just your muscles but your independence, your energy, and your quality of life. So the real question isn't just whether milk helps maintain muscle after 60. It's whether you're building a lifestyle that allows it to help. That includes moving your body, eating enough total calories, and not letting protein fall to the bottom of your priority list. And here's something worth remembering: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need a strict meal plan or a fancy supplement. Sometimes, a glass of milk at the right time, paired with a walk around the block and a little intention, is enough to move the needle in the right direction. Let's take a moment to summarize what this means in practice, and how you can start using this information today, no matter your current habits. So what can you actually do, starting today, if you're over 60 and you want to protect your muscles, and you're wondering whether milk fits into that picture? First, take a look at your meals. Are you getting a source of protein at each one? Many older adults eat most of their protein at dinner and very little at breakfast or lunch. That's a missed opportunity. Your body responds better when protein is spread more evenly throughout the day. A glass of milk with breakfast, or a mid-afternoon snack with cottage cheese or yogurt, can help balance things out and support your muscles more consistently. Second, think about timing. After any kind of physical activity, even just a walk, gardening, or light exercises at home, your muscles are especially ready to use protein. Having milk or a protein-rich snack within an hour or so after that movement can give your body the building blocks it needs to maintain and repair muscle. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just being intentional with when you eat can make a real difference. Third, choose the type of milk that works best for you. If you're lactose intolerant, don't worry, there are lactose-free versions that offer the same nutrients. Some plant-based milks are fortified with calcium and vitamin D, but keep in mind that many of them lack the high-quality protein found in dairy milk. If muscle health is your focus, dairy milk or high-protein dairy products are generally more effective. Fourth, make it part of a bigger picture. Protein is powerful, but movement activates the muscle. Try to keep moving, not just with formal exercise, but through daily routines. Go for walks, stand up and stretch regularly, lift light weights or use resistance bands. Even small efforts, done often, can protect muscle strength. When that's paired with enough protein and energy from your diet, including something as simple as milk, you're supporting your body in the most effective way. Finally, be patient and consistent. Changes in muscle don't happen overnight. But the small habits you build now, like drinking a glass of milk with purpose, eating enough protein at every meal, and staying active, they add up. They protect your independence. They help you stay strong, not just for today, but for the years to come. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, and milk isn't magic. But for many older adults, especially those who struggle to meet their protein needs, milk is a familiar, affordable, and easy tool that can help support muscle health as part of a well-rounded lifestyle. And if this kind of practical, evidence-based health advice is helpful to you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. Small changes, made together, can lead to better health for everyone.